Okay, what is your name?
Belle.
What are you doing here today, Belle?
I'm here to show my support to enact stricter gun control regulations and laws. We are students at Trinity University, and so we are definitely in support to protect our fellow students and especially younger students as well, still in high school. It very hits close to home,
Right.
as you know, more shootings happen, and we're here to express our support and our concern and also our frustrations with the lack of strict policies to be put in place and the lack of just nothing happening.
What policies are you talking about that are lacking?
Strict
Because we do a background check. We don't allow automatic rifles. We only allow semi-automatic because it's one trigger, one push, one bullet. So I mean, what laws don't you like?
Well, military grade magazines are still, people can still easily get a hold of those.
What are military grade magazines?
Military?
Like for the video.
Military grade magazines.
Yeah,
So
what
that's like for military grade like rifles and weapons and automatic weapons like such as like AR-15s, AKs, like 47s. Like those are still.
Those are semi-automatic. Though they're not fully automatic. You're talking about like the
Yes.
the
Well,
bullets.
still semi-automatic. We still view that as a military grade weapon that should be.
But semi-automatic is like a handgun too. It's just something where you don't have to put a bullet in.
Yeah, but I mean the reason we're here today is to make sure that those weapons don't get in the hands of the wrong people, and we want stricter regulations to enforce that so those people can't easily.
How would we do that?
Huh?
How would we like keep? Okay, so you don't want to ban those guns. You just want to keep bad people from owning them.
Yes, and I mean, well, I think that can go both ways. I mean, I think something needs to happen. We need to start taking steps towards that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, like when you go to gun shows,
Right.
like a lot of people can just get cash and they don't have to prove pretty much anything, especially depending on where you go. We think that's a definite problem.
Okay. What do you think about Trump's idea of arming teachers because you want to protect students? Don't you think arming a teacher would be the best way to protect their students in that classroom?
I think fighting fire with fire maybe isn't the best thing, and I think if you're going to do that, I mean, you're going to have to spend a lot of money on training to actually like train them.
Do you think it's worth it to save lives?
I think we can save lives in other ways and other measures. I think there's definitely other ways to save lives, and that's what we're trying to do here today.
Right.
Save lives. Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Okay. What is your name, ma'am?
My name is Jennifer Reddick. We're marching for change.
For change.
We need common sense gun laws,
And what would like common sense be?
like more background checks and things to keep guns out of the hands of people that would try to harm us.
We can walk, guys, while we're doing it. I see you have all your kids with you and everything like that. What do you think is the best way to protect your children at school? Is it arming teachers? Is it getting more security? What do you believe?
I think we need security, but I think we need to make our gun restrictions harder. Like we need to make it harder for people to have access to these weapons.
A lot of people think that that weapons shouldn't be really hard to get because it's our right to own a gun to protect ourselves. Well, what do you say to those people?
Well, I think that like right now we have more of a problem of people harming others than we do of like protecting ourselves. I think that like guns are being used to hurt people more than they are to protect themselves. I think that's a myth. I don't think more guns equals less crime.
The CDC said that the safety department said that in 1 year, close to 1 million to 3 million incidences where guns protected people. Do you think that owning a gun is a right to protect yourself? I mean, should we ban all guns or just a
No,
few?
I don't think we should ban all guns, but we don't need like AK-47s and AR-15s in the hands of teenagers like what happened in Parkland. He was able to get a gun legally,
Right.
and that should never happen.
But the most of the mass shooters were not 18. They were all probably in their 20s.
It's true. Yeah, but I think, like I said, it's not just about raising the age limit. We need to have like better background checks, and it needs to be, the screens need to be tougher and harder for them to obtain. It needs to be a longer, more drawn out process. I think we just need to like rally together and focus and just like start pressing for change. I think the more that we talk about this, the more we'll be able to make sense of it. I mean, they were able to do this in Australia in a matter of weeks. It'll take longer here, but we can do it, I think.
Thank you so much. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Okay. What does your sign say?
It says let's give teachers guns, but it's like mocking the
Why?
because it's just a stupid proposition. more guns is not gonna help the situation.
But a lot of times, a lot of these shooters, mass shooters, we stop them with someone with another gun.
That's true, but I think if you give teachers guns, it's like easier access for another school shooting to happen. And if like a student finds out a teacher has a gun like somewhere, they can easily go and find it or get it. So I think it's a dumb proposition.
But I mean, they would have kind of like procedures with that. They wouldn't probably tell the students.
Yeah.
Texas already has districts that allow teachers to have guns, and the only people that know is the teacher, the principal, and the police department, and that's it. What do you think about that?
Well,
And they've been going for a few years. There haven't been no shooting whatsoever.
Yeah.
A student grabbing a gun. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, if you have the right procedures and everything, I think, well, I guess it depends, but I think generally, like, more guns is not okay. Like, having more guns, adding more guns, more, like, attempts for violence, I think that's just not okay.
But you wouldn't want. 300 million guns in the United States. There's no way we're going to get rid of even half of them. So, you feel more safe if you had a gun yourself?
I don't know. I mean, if it happens, it happens. If I die, I die, but I mean,
Say you have a chance to protect yourself if you had a gun.
that's true, but I mean, I don't know. I'm against all of that, so.
You're against the guns, like guns whatsoever?
I guess so, yeah.
Oh, okay. Anything else that would you want besides this? Or like anything else right away that you want to do? Ban any kind of guns or anything like that?
No, I just think we need to take like small steps first, just try to get some of the laws changed, like at least background checks with the whole, like the guns.
But we do.
But I mean, I feel like it's still pretty easy for like somebody like 18 years old to get.
Why should an 18-year-old get a gun?
I don't know, that's a good question. I mean, I get it for like safety reasons, but other than that, I'm just like, okay, like what's the purpose? I mean,
To protect yourself?
same, but I mean, yeah, but that's the only thing I can think of. I mean,
But, I mean, you don't think 18-year-olds should protect themselves?
I do, but I mean, I don't think it's I don't know.
My sign says, assault rifles make an ass out of you. Just you.
Okay. What are you doing? Oh, you got more. Okay.
Which says, my kids are more important than your hobby.
Okay. What exactly are you here for? Are we here to like ban guns? Are we?
I'm not here to ban guns. I actually grew up in a house that had guns, but my house didn't have like military guns. I mean, we grew up someplace we had bears where I lived. My parents had pistols for protection. That was self-defense.
Right.
There is just no need for something that looks like a machine gun. I just don't understand why we have it. There's no. I mean, I get that some people are enthusiasts and it's a cool machine, but the violence, the ability for somebody to do a great deal of harm in a very short window of time, it just doesn't seem justified.
A lot of people believe that the Second Amendment was made because just in case our government ever goes against us, and the military has those type of weapons. Do you think that we should be at the same level as the military just in case they ever go rogue? Because police have been known to shoot innocent black men. Trump has been known to be a racist and don't like brown and black people. Whatever comes the day where he wants to be Hitler and wants to kill all of us, what do you think?
That's a very good point. That's a great point because there have been points in history where people have been able to protect themselves because they were armed, and one of the first things dictatorships do try to do is disarm their population. But again, I really don't think that we can't compete with our military, right? We're not going to have bombs. We don't have tanks.
Right.
We're not going to succeed by firepower.
Right.
So when it comes time to resist, I mean, you're looking at resistance, right?
Right.
It's not about guns. So. We already have a teacher shortage. I want people who are qualified to teach. I think there are a lot of teachers who aren't comfortable with it, and I don't get to meet all of the teachers that, like, what if I'm not comfortable with one of the teachers in my son's school, being armed around them every day? I mean, against the possibility of somebody coming in at some point, right? That doesn't happen to most children. Arming several teachers in a school, that means that child is now exposed to people with guns every single day of their education for 12 years, right? I mean, that just...
Well, you just said right now, more than likely, we probably won't get a mass shooting in the school. I mean, in anyone's school. So should we do anything if the odds are real low?
Because when it does happen, to lose that many people all at once, I mean, versus...
But should we have a teacher with a gun just in case it happens?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think that's the solution. No.
Okay. What was the first thing you want to see our politicians do? Is it ban AKs, AK-47s, AR-15s, bump stocks, anything like that? You want to see it first done? Or bump our age to 21?
I'm actually against raising the age restrictions.
Oh, are you? Okay.
I do, because I think that is a slippery slope towards taking the vote away from young people.
Right.
So I don't think that's an answer.
Okay.
I would like to see some common sense about what's a weapon for self-defense versus a weapon that's a weapon of war. And I'd like to see background checks that matter. I mean, we have to go through 12 points of identification to get a passport and a driver's license. I mean,
Right,
to
right.
go fly, get on an airplane, to drive a car.
Right.
All of those things are much more discretionary and much easier to do, harder to do then.
But a lot of those things are not really right to a gun, though. So we should get a right to protect ourselves.
If you think about it, in many places you need to drive a car to go to work. I think, the fact that we don't have a right to drive a car, I think some things are enshrined and some things aren't. I don't know. I think it ought to be, it just doesn't make sense.
Okay. Any last comments you just want to say to anyone?
I hope that everybody who's marching also goes and votes, because that's really how we're going to make change.